Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about an amazing Scottish singer-songwriter by the name of JOE McALINDEN. And if you don't know who JOE McALINDEN is, then hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to want to check him out. An incredible, amazing artist. He was a member of BMX Bandits. He was a member of the group Superstar. In fact, he led the group Superstar. He's put out a few albums under the name Linden, and he's put out stuff under his own name. I like to start these videos off, most of them, by telling you how I got into the artist. And that's basically because BMX Bandits put out a single called Serious Drugs. Now, BMX Bandits, an incredible Scottish band led by Douglas T. Stewart. Now, Douglas normally sings the Bandit songs, but sometimes, he would have let, Francis McDonald sing a song or JOE McALINDEN. And Joe sang the song Serious Drugs. When I heard that song, my heart melted. It's so beautiful, so wonderfully produced, and Joe's voice was so earnest and lovely and amazing, and it hooked me right then and there. I was already a BMX Bandits fan, but I needed to know who this Joe was. And then he took off after that and went off on his own. Now let's go all the way back to the beginning. As far as I know, we're going to start with, he was in a band called the Groovy Little Numbers, and they put out 2 singles on the 53rd and 3rd label out of Scotland, a very influential label. I mean, BMX Bandits were on that label, some great Scottish talent. And those singles were compiled on a CD, and it's called the 53rd and 3rd Singles. And there's only 6 songs on it, but they're all great pop songs. It's very upbeat. Now, the Groovy Little Numbers was actually a duo. It was Joe and a female vocalist by the name of Catherine Stephen. But these songs are just great. They're perfect for late 80s Scottish pop, indie, definitely influenced by a Postcard label and, bands like that, but really, really wonderful. But they only put out the 2 singles, and this has 6 tracks total, and definitely worth your while. Now, in '87, he was also part of a band called the Boy Hairdressers, which featured Francis McDonald from BMX Bandits, Norman Blake from Teenage Fan Club, Raymond McGinley, I think he played with the BMX Bandits, and then Joe. Nothing's on CD, so I have nothing to show you. So we'll just move along since this is the CD Junkie. But definitely, I believe they put out 1 or 2 EPs or singles. So if you're a vinyl collector, definitely track those down because I'm sure that they are fabulous. But then Joe joined BMX Bandits. Now, he was a bassist and a guitar player. He played a bunch of stuff. He sang backup and sang occasional lead. But the albums that he was on, to my knowledge, are, of course, C86, which is a great album that came out in 1990. And then the album Star Wars, which came out in 1991. And then the album Life Goes On from 93. This is the album that had the song Serious Drugs. This is the Cherry Red version, expanded, has bonus tracks and a bonus disc. Fantastic stuff. And then towards the end of his time with BMX Bandits, he formed his own band called Superstar. And then Creation Records, which is the label that BMX Bandits was signed to, they put out a mini album called Superstar Greatest Hits Volume 1. Now, this only contains 6 tracks, but boy, it was just a taster. It was rougher than BMX Bandits, more raw, but JOE McALINDEN's voice was, it was just killer. And he knew how to write a great pop tune. And this is a great thing to have. Now, I don't know, maybe I read it somewhere that he basically submitted these as demos and Creation said, let's just put it out that way. I don't know, maybe I made that up, maybe I dreamt it. This was released in 1992. And in 1994, the band Superstar put out the self-titled album, and this just continues that great pop sound. It's mostly upbeat, jangle guitars, great songs, great vocals. He was just growing leaps and bounds as a singer and as a songwriter. Truly wonderful and magnificent. This actually got released in the US and is probably pretty easy to find on CD over here. One of my favorite songs on this is this beautiful ballad called Don't Want to Die. And just the first time I heard it, I had to sit down. It was so beautiful and wonderful. But this came out in 1994. In 1997, put out a 7-track mini album called 18 Karat. This started to reveal a different side of JOE McALINDEN because he still writing great pop songs, but all these layers of emotion really started coming to the surface. And there were very unique arrangements. And, it wasn't just straight ahead pop, let's get on the radio. This was stuff coming from the heart. And you could hear it in his voice. You could hear it in the chord changes, in the production, in the way that the songs would swell and then, come back down to earth. And it was just really, truly amazing. I mean, it's not ethereal, but it feels ethereal. It feels emotion. You're feeling the album just as much as you're hearing it. It's really fantastic. It's wonderful. And it showed a new side to him. And I believe that about this time, maybe with the first couple of releases, he was getting some really good press in the UK, which is good because an artist like this needs a lot of great press. By the time Palm Tree came out in 1998, this was just another incredible release. Very emotional, very touching and heartwarming. And, he wasn't, coming out with these great big, glorious jangly pop tunes anymore. These songs would just grow and would just morph over time with these beautiful melodies. And every song, as I said earlier, was just laced, filled with emotion. And just sometimes you just have to stop, sit down and go, whoa, because it's just truly magnificent. Palm Tree, that is just a really wonderful album. Came out in 1998, and from what I understand, I think like a limited yellow colored vinyl was just released. And you can check that out on JOE McALINDEN's Bandcamp page, and I'll put the link in the description box below where you can buy some of this other stuff. Really, really magnificent. Now, this mini album had a song called Superstar. This has a song called Superstar. Same song. I think it's just a completely different mix, unless he's re-recorded it. But from my memory, it's a different mix, and this is more spacious, and it just really feels good. And speaking of that song, Superstar, there was a CD single of it, which has non-album tracks. And also on that album was a song called Breathing Space, and the single of that has non-album tracks as well. And then there was a single called Every Day I Fall Apart, and that single had non-album tracks as well. What an artist. Like I said, just the emotions in the songs, they just ebb and flow, and you're just enthralled. You're riveted to this just wonderful sound. It's pop, yes, and it is indie rock per se, but it's also something so much more, something more lush and beautiful even. In the year 2000, Superstar put out an album called Fat Dat. And this was, I don't want to say experimental, but there were more things going on in here. It was more atmospheric, but still the beauty of the songs. He had become an incredible, amazing singer-songwriter. He started great and just kept getting better. And just, it's truly something to behold when you hear the beauty of some of these songs. Now, there is the album there. And then there was a single from the album called I Love Love. And there it is there. And that has non-album bonus tracks. Now, the same year that came out was a double EP called 6 More Songs. And I believe the 6 songs are recorded at the same sessions as Fat Dat or thereabouts, but didn't make the album. And then there's also a bonus EP that came with this that has some remixes and it has some guests on it. And there you go there. And that was it for Superstar. Fantastic band. Now, in 2004, JOE McALINDEN returned with a group called NOM. NOM. I mean, maybe he was hungry. Nom, 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 nom. I don't know. Now, this is just great material by Joe. It's a little bit different. There's a little more keyboards, a little bit more experimental, very eclectic, but still wonderfully pop, just in your face, glorious. These beautiful songs. And NOM was his first post-Superstar act, and then that was it for quite a while. It took 8 more years before he returned, but this time he returned under the name _Linden. I know that's a little confusing. It's actually, it's Joe McAlinden, but you can see there on the cover how it says _Linden. The album is called Bleached Highlights, and it came out 2012, and this sort of restored, he brought back up that sort of, guitar-y pop stuff, but he didn't lose the beauty. So the song Shimmer, instead of ebb and flow, they shimmer, but they're great, glorious songs, still heartfelt, more mature, and just one of Scotland's great pop songwriters. He also put out another album under the name _Linden, and that is called Rest and Be Thankful. Another great, absolutely wonderful collection of songs. Now, in 2020, he put out a mini album or an EP called Edit. I do not have that. That's mostly electronic. I do have to track that down, because I have heard a vocal or two on it, and he just sounds incredible. That was it for quite a while until he released this amazing album called Where the Clouds Go Swimming. This is a 2023 release, Japanese only at this exact moment in time. Originally, I think it was just digital only. It came out, I think, in July, digital only. And it took him until, December or something for this to come out on CD, limited edition. Now, this sort of strips back, the guitar jangle and stuff again, and more wistful, more atmospheric, more emotional. There's keyboards in this, and these are songscapes, beautiful pop songscapes, and it's just an amazing, amazing album. And that is it. And guess what? I have put together a 6-minute medley. You're only hearing little snippets of one song from each album, but I tried to make it count. Hopefully it just gets you excited to check him out. But just for now, sit back, relax, and I will see you on the other side.
And I know what I said hurt you more than words could ever say. And I know what I said hurt you more than words could ever say. And I know what I said hurt, it can be made to fade away. Yes, I know we'll still be happy like yesterday. The trouble with me, I can't give in. You see, the trouble with me, I can't give in. You see, every place I go, I'll always be with you. You know that all that time ago, I'd spend it again with you. You take me back. Call it a day. Don't let me down. Hold me. Finally found your eyes. Don't look away. Don't look away. Don't look away. It don't bother me. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I hope this inspires you to check out the music of JOE McALINDEN. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, to ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.